Andres today. We're jumping into a new show. This show is called Caylee Anthony, Where the Truth Lies. I actually do not know I know who Caylee Anthony, the name. I'm not even gonna read the intro or what it's giving me the description of the show, because I didn't know much in depth. I'm pretty sure that she killed her kids, or was convicted of killing kids. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I don't think she killed her husband or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure, did she kill her kids? I don't know. It's either she killed her kids. I know that the trial was going on when I was very, very young, I believe. So I didn't really get into it, obviously. But now I'm kind of curious to see what this person is all about, and curiosity leads to me doing another TV show, but this is only 3 parts, so we're gonna be like bam, 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 bam. So I hope you guys really do enjoy it. We do have John Wayne Gacy that we're going to be wrapping up. I'm completely behind schedule because of my computer software, my editing software, I should say. This computer, it's okay, baby, it's doing very well, thank you so much for asking. It's just really, this software is trash, so I'm going to be trying to catch up to a lot of my stuff, so bear with me as we move right along. This will be a full reaction for my entire platform here on the YouTube platform, as well as my other platform, Patreon. So guys, please sign up to one of those platforms and help support the channel today. With that being said, let's jump into Caylee Anthony, Where the Truth Lies, and find out exactly what this documentary has got to give. Ooh, I like that. South Florida, 2022.
Some of the only things I have left of Caylee.
Casey, why not just do the interview at your house?
Like my privacy. I also have a roommate. That's also my safe space. Away from the outside world, away from anything scary. This was up in my mom's house. Caylee was just a few months old here. And this is one of my favorite pictures because she just had this look. Her Princess Leia wig, 2-layered tutus. She's actually wearing butterfly wings that you can't see. Makes this face. And then I go, okay, bye, and runs around again. These moments that I had with her, I was with her when she did this. There was no trauma. There was no darkness in those moments.
2-year-old girl is missing, and detectives say her mother has provided them with more lies than information.
Why didn't you call 31 days ago? I've gone through other resources to try to find her.
She kept on going out and having fun while her daughter was missing.
Caylee died because her mother decided that the life that she wanted was more important.
The jury find the defendant not guilty.
Not guilty.
What's wrong with these people?
The devil is dancing tonight.
She has not done a single on-camera interview since she was acquitted in her murder trial.
Completely disappeared. And actions speak louder than words.
Just tell us why.
Why what?
Why you killed your daughter.
Why talk to me now when you're not getting creative control?
I just need someone to be willing to listen, and that I had something to say to make my daughter proud, but also to honor her properly. I'm responsible for answering everyone in the world's question. I still don't know. What happened to Caylee? I know what eats at me at night. I know what eats at me day after day, because I know what I lived through. I've never seen any. I've been coming here for over a year. I've never seen an alligator. We're fine. I come here quite a bit. I have a few other places I like to go to that are secluded. Crowded places by myself is not something I feel comfortable doing anymore. I typically take pictures when I'm here.
Hey, what's your tattoo?
This? It's peonies and half a mandala. I have fought so hard for a normal life. This team was very adamant about making sure that I was able to have a fresh start. I was given a little bit of money from my defense team, not just my legal team, but my surrogate family here. I've been working for Pat McKenna as his research assistant for 10.5 years. The whole reason I'm doing what I'm doing now to pay forward everything that was done for me, because I don't ever want to see someone be pigeonholed by not only law enforcement, but the media. I like my life. At least there are moments where I feel like I'm not alone. Caylee was born in August of 2005. I was 19. Few pictures that I do have of me with her that other people took was when she was first born. That was the best decision that I ever made in my life, was having a kid. She was perfect. The only person in this world that matters to me still is my daughter. I should just get over the fact that my daughter isn't here and I've been blamed for her being gone.
Time of the Anthony case, I was a sergeant at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. You know, the night this happened, nobody thought it would turn out the way that it's turned out. Cindy Anthony, Caylee's grandmother, called 911.
My granddaughter has been taken. She has been missing for a month. We're talking about a 3-year-old little girl.
You know, usually when a child goes missing, parents report it right away.
My daughter's been missing for the last 31 days. Who has her? Zenaiva Fernandez Gonzalez. She's been my nanny for about 1.5 years.
The homicide investigators came to my desk and said, "Are you aware of what John Allen and Yuri have?" Spent a great deal of time with Casey trying to collect information that may lead to the location of Caylee.
Caylee to our babysitter's house.
Yes, work. And I show up to the apartment, knock on the door, nobody answers.
Yuri affords Casey an opportunity to take him to several locations.
He drove her to the apartment where Casey said she had dropped Caylee off. It was Zenaida Gonzalez that lived at the place. In fact, that apartment had been vacant for months. And of course, we learned pretty quickly that she was lying about a lot of things. In Yuri's interview with her, Casey said she worked at Universal Studios. Found out that she wasn't an employee. She didn't work there. She'd admit that she was making it up and that she didn't really work there. But that's not the reaction. Kind of waving at people, and but they are waving back. I mean, but they're like, you know, they're waving like down a hallway where there's nowhere to go. It's a dead-end hall. She said, I don't really work here.
She was arrested for lying to Yuri during the course of that portion of the investigation.
I think she killed her daughter, and she didn't want to get in trouble. She didn't want to get caught.
Caylee Anthony held her head high after being arrested yesterday, charged with child neglect and lying to the authorities. Just one more element in a strange story that has even the woman's own mother concerned.
I just saw your nice little cameo on TV. You don't know what my involvement is and stuff? You're not telling me where she's at. Because I don't fucking know where she's at. Are you kidding me? I'm sitting here fucking crying every 2 seconds because I have to stay composed to talk to detectives.
Did you get the impression that she was as upset and worried about her daughter as her mother and her friend were? I think this is her being herself.
I remember where I was in my home office when I saw that there was this woman taken into custody. At that time, I was an investigative reporter at WKMG in Orlando. Were grandparents who wanted to know, they said, where their granddaughter was.
I'm looking every looking cranny until I find her.
Wear this? I would love to. I would deeply appreciate it.
He is missing.
100 showed up at the Anthony's tonight to pray.
This took on a life of its own. We had these pictures of this beautiful little girl.
Find the next Caylee Anthony story, because that is what people were watching the news for.
The sheriff's office did a pretty thorough investigation of her phones. Got a message from Casey saying that she didn't feel she could participate fully with her friends because she was a mother, and tells him that I'm going crazy over here, at least the kid is passed out.
Where is 2-year-old Caylee?
I typically think of mothers as murderers, because it was like, wait, did she murder her daughter?
Found more inconsistencies in the mother's story. We listened to the 911 tapes and we hear Cindy's frantic voice.
Daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
There's been some testimony about a car.
It was a white Pontiac, and it was initially recovered at their residence.
I've smelled that odor before. It's pretty unmistakable.
Alerted to the odor of human decomposition.
Pointed us in the direction that this child is dead. And so, and obviously we couldn't say that for sure. And we all believe that we arrested the right person.
Caylee Anthony walked out of a Florida jail Friday morning.
Neighbors fighting back protesters demanding Caylee Anthony's return to jail.
Completely removed herself from any normal emotion of a mother.
There was a lot of anger at Caylee Anthony.
We interviewed friends, family members. The existence of Caylee was probably interfering with Casey's desire to be more socially active. The last person other than Casey to see Caylee that we're aware of was George Anthony.
She says, Dad, I'm on my way to work. Caylee's going to Danny's house. Over tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
When we looked at the photo bucket account, you could see the lifestyle that she was living during that period of time. Partying and hanging out. She ended up stealing a checkbook from a friend, Amy Huizinga. Casey was using funds that did not belong to her, not buying things that a mother would be buying for a child. Nothing. The 3rd of July is when she gets that tattoo, Bella Vita. That means the good life. In the world, I'm living the perfect life. Who does that? Tony Lazzaro was Caylee Anthony's boyfriend. Oh. At the time that Caylee went missing. That being around the same time in the time frame where she started staying with him.
I was Tony Lazzaro's former roommate. Casey would bring Caylee over. I saw Casey doing flashcards. Made me want to be that type of parent to my own child.
She was such a good mom. Casey showed no indication that anything was wrong.
She did absolutely nothing in the search for her child.
Casey's story. Yeah, Casey,
It
this
was
doesn't look
the
good,
right
girl.
guilty verdict. I did lie to law enforcement.
What is your relationship to truth and lying today?
I'm a little too honest. I'm blunt. I'm direct.
Today, would you say Casey is an honest person?
Yes. Trust her with my research, with my invoices. Pretty good at catching lies. It's kind of my job.
I lost my entire life when I lost Caylee. She was the only thing that truly and honestly mattered to me. I let her dress herself how she wanted to dress.
Well, Miss Life is a party. It's your party. You can do what you want to.
I got to see how infectious she was in everyone's lives.
She was just happy and fun, and she would just light up a room. My name is Annie Gotterwas, and I was once best friends with Caylee Anthony. I have Caylee Marie tattooed on my left shoulder because she deserves it. She deserves to live with me forever. I brought a couple of my high school yearbooks.
Oh, it's so sad.
There's Casey. We became close friends very quickly. I think this picture was from my birthday. She was always focused on Caylee. You know, she was a part of her.
Somebody wanted to go out dancing and was ready to kill her child.
I understand how they will say that. I get it. That's not the Casey that I knew. Didn't kill her child. Like, the pictures that circulated on the news, on social media, pictures that are from half a dozen different nights over the span of a 3-year time period. 21st birthday. Like, come on. It was her 21st birthday. She didn't go out with us all that often. She loved that child. Occasionally, Caylee would let me hold her. Most of the time, she just wanted Casey. Until she herself tells me that she did it, there's no way. I think an accident probably happened. And I think that she did what she always did, and she lied. Was friends with Casey. She lied about everything. Well, I used to live in that apartment complex. She wasn't lying. She had brought Caylee there before. She had never dropped her off. Caylee had been there. Really certain that she definitely was employed at Universal at some point.
There's always at least some part of the truth that was a part of the lie. And yeah, Sawgrass Apartments, that's where Annie Downing lived, the kernel of truth within the lie.
The day that Caylee's kidnapping is reported.
Daughter's been missing for the last 31 days.
No emotion.
There's nothing. Nothing. So numb during so much of that.
Who has her? Her name is Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez.
Was babysitter, was nanny, all of that's true, was not my nanny, was not my babysitter.
Damn, threw some random lady under the bus.
That's the official entrance. So we'd have to go around the back.
You believe what about where Caylee is?
She's okay. I lied to everyone because that was my whole life up to that point. I'm trying to analyze my own behavior. All of this is a reaction to trauma. Or my interactions with law enforcement, but I don't really remember all of what was said. Everything had its place on a shelf and had its own box. Saying all of this out loud for the first time, the process is extremely painful. I remember the detectives that I was with, frightened, I was scared. I hadn't worked at Universal for like a year and a half. I remember the detective walking me into an interrogation room.
You lied to him about all these things. You brought us here.
You've told all of us. Nothing has been true.
The last person that I saw her with is Zenaida. Gave law enforcement absolutely no reason to believe or trust anything that I said. Why, from an outside perspective, all of this just seems so
strange.
Because even for me, it still feels that way. I was doing what I was conditioned to do.
Lie, but your daughter's missing.
I lied a lot more than I ever told the truth because telling the truth to anyone in the outside world didn't happen. Your standard middle-class, white, American family. The outside world saw this perfect little family. Our life at home was a lie. It all comes back to my dad.
Oh.
My father wanted the world to believe that he was the patriarch of the family. Father was trying to hide that he wasn't working. My mother was the true matriarch. My mom had found out that he had taken $60,000 out of her retirement. Father was also lying to hide the fact that he was unfaithful to my mother. Mom was trying to, again, put on that facade of this cohesive unit, protecting the family at all costs. That was the only goal.
Damn, guess she don't like her dad.
Should be the first time I've made breakfast for anyone other than myself for a very long time. There's no such thing as good sleep. Not that I know.
You look very well
A lot of nights I had very clear nightmare last night. It was similar to other things that happened to me growing up.
What was the nightmare last night?
My father was holding me down and raping me. That happens again and again and again. My father started to come into my room at night, scared because I was physically hurt and I can't tell mommy what happened. The abuse one day just stopped. Just before my 12th birthday, brother started coming in shortly after I turned 12. The same thing that happened with my father. My brother never raped me, no, but it was close enough.
Did you think she knew anyway?
I've always questioned it. I had to make sure I dressed as young as I possibly could, to look as young as I possibly could. I had to fit within these very specific parameters. She was always trying to create this image of what our family should be. I think she was lying to herself, trying to keep together this family unit that she was fighting so hard for. So I lied a lot more than I ever told the truth, because the truth was too painful and it was too unreal.
Shut up.
I'm done. Don't ever tell me to shut up.
You know something? I let you explain everything.
Only further painting that picture of what I've described. You just see that discord between the two of them. It's so blatant.
Casey learned by example. And and that's where our daughter got it.
Do not personally attack me.
And is finally acknowledging, yes, I learned from his example completely. Completely replicated my father's behavior during those 31 days. But for me, it wasn't to protect myself because of what I had done, to protect myself from the outside world.
So why did you take the money from Amy?
It was a really shitty mistake. Used and manipulated all of the people around me, when the most normal thing would have been to say, I need help. But I didn't know how to say that.
Caylee Anthony says she was looking for her missing daughter.
Bella Vita, that was my fuck you to my family. The tattoo in the first place, especially during that time period, because that was a subconscious way for me to speak out against all of it.
Against what?
My family. The tattoo on the inside of my arm. I hear your voice in all the sounds of the world. It also translates to noise. It just means I hear you in everything. That is my Caylee tribute tattoo. These were the two that I asked to have printed. And you can see the outline, perfect outline.
People know you were pregnant at that point?
It was hard not to tell. One of the people closest to me were telling people not only that I wasn't pregnant. That was what my nurse mother told people.
Why?
Maybe she was embarrassed that her daughter was pregnant. I don't know. And they're like, well, you're pregnant. And I kind of hesitate and go, what?
Could your dad have been the father?
No, my father is not the father of my child, neither is my brother. Completely lost my memory because I was drugged. I was extremely disoriented. Why it happened, how it happened, did I consent, not consent?
Did you report it to the police?
No.
Why not?
I wasn't sure anyone would believe me. All the guy needs to say is, yeah, of course, she wanted to do it.
How soon after the rape do you realize you're pregnant?
Almost immediately. To tell my parents that I was pregnant, I told them that Jesse Grund was the father. As my pregnancy progressed and we realized how far along I actually was, came to realize that that wasn't the case. I let Jesse believe the entirety of my pregnancy that he was the father. He got a paternity test. Even after that, I never told Jesse how I got pregnant in the first place. Lied and said that it was this old friend from way back when.
The time Caylee was born, he had already started another family, and he passed away earlier in the year.
I lied to everyone. That's what I'm saying, it's so fucked up. It's just years of feeling like I needed to live a certain life, and I didn't want my kid growing up thinking she was this product of something so bad. I don't know how long I can do this. These pictures like they were yesterday. And that's part of the reason why it's so hard to look back. I miss her every second of every day.
I believe this part of what she's saying.
This is why I can't sit down and look at these anymore. She's still everything to me and always will be everything. are parents supposed to survive their kid? Oh, God. It just fucking hurts. I lied. But no one asked why. I went over there and I stayed the night.
Some questions like, where's Caylee? I'm just doing what they told me to do. Just saying what they tell me to say.
Someone's told her.
Who?
She didn't say.
They're telling me. I'm doing what they tell me to do. I don't know who they is, though.
I'm thoroughly embarrassed by everything that happened. I wasn't the same person sitting here almost 14 years ago that I am now.
Why were you lying to the cops?
I was doing what I was told.
By?
My father.
Well. So this was a very interesting first part of a three-parter, getting into Caylee Anthony's story. As somebody who does not know anything about this lady, I actually don't even know the details of this story. I love psychology. I love listening to somebody and just reading them. My reactions are kind of different than some people what they want. Some people want me to talk through it and stop it and give I definitely watch the show, watch whatever I'm watching, and I dive deep. If you guys understood where my mind was going, I literally was listening to every word this lady was saying. Nothing was making any sense. She seems like a narcissist. And she also seems like she has some other mental, I'm not a doctor, so I can't diagnose you, but so I won't even go into the medical thing, but she seems like she has a few things that she needs, that she has, but narcissist is definitely one of them. That's what comes off to me. Majority of this too, listening to older tapes and how she was talking, it just, nothing makes sense. Okay, I completely understand the photos and how they were just, the media was picking up from these photos and making it seem like that was all during the time that her child was missing, but they were from different parts of years and this, that, and the third. But also just to say, like, there's things that just don't make sense. And I think that's probably what the cops are having issues with. Things do not make sense. I also feel like a gut feeling tells me that because Caylee Anthony, dear girl, like, if you did not want to be in the limelight and you did not want to rehash this story, the generation, like my generation and the generation below me and on, would not even know who you were, girl. Like, at all. We would not know your story unless people were into law and criminal stuff where they researched her. But overall, like, I would pass Caylee Anthony before this and not know who she was. I would have no idea. But now you've been put back into the limelight. So I guess maybe the 10 years I don't know, you just want to talk. I mean, I'm trying to take in her account of her story and saying, yeah, she wants to tell her story, but damn, clearly she does not like her family. This is evidently clear. I feel like, I don't know if she serves any jail time or whatnot, but she is gunning for her family in at least the first episode. She is going hard. The least person she's going hard on, which seems to have footage of the only person thus far to defend her, is her mother. If you see there, her mother was saying, like, no, she learned from you, talking about the father, and maybe that's why Caylee isn't going so ham, at least in the first episode, on her mom. But she accused the father of pretty much molesting her, and then her brother, which is crazy to me. It could have happened, but this whole story is pure. For the first episode, is purely insane. There is so much going on, and I'm completely bewildered on trying to figure out what the hell the truth is. And so in the ending clip, it seems like she's trying to allude that her father had something to do with this. She is coming for her father. She does not like her father, not one bit. And if what she says is true, it makes sense. But she's already admitted that she's an admitted liar. So you can only take an admitted liar, even if they say that we formed, with a grain of salt. Because once you're a liar like this, I feel like there's just... You lied during a time of your daughter that you're crying about, saying you miss and how much it hurts. You lied during that whole time and for over a month. And we've had footage of you buying beers and living your best life. So, I don't know, girl. Well, I'm listening to her story, but I'm rather listening to other people and what the evidence shows to conclude my opinion of her. Not that she really cares, but it's very fascinating, child. I would love for you guys to comment down below what you think about at least this first episode. Don't give me into the ending of the conclusion of what happened. Obviously, I know she was not found guilty. She serves, it seems, only jail time for a little bit for lying to the police, but does she not serve any jail time at all? And then so the police are saying that she murdered the child, but the jurors say that she's not guilty, so that's just a murder that's unsolved? That's deep. And now she's 10 years later trying to allude that it's her father, which can open up the case again to be re-examined, and her father could be put through a whole lot of if this is what child. Let me get off of this reaction and definitely comment down below. With that being said, if you've seen this reaction and realize you are not subscribed, hit subscribe, but also please like and share this content because it does wonders for this channel. And I'll see you all next time on Andres El Rey.